Hello, Culture Matters podcast. Today we're back with 30 days of thought. Today is Freaked Out, page 74. I feel freaked out, pushing myself to the limits, reading to think, writing to develop, listening to hear what's unsaid, speak to let go, reading to think, rereading these thoughts, to think for my assumptions to be challenged, what I think I know to be challenged, to write down my thoughts, interviewing our guests, the preparation that comes with doing research and thinking about their experiences and their life and making inferences on who they might be or maybe or could be so I can lean in and ask better questions. Recording these monologues around 30 days of thought, culture topics, the CEO manual, acting out, read to think, write to develop, listen to hear what is unsaid, speak to let go. I am developing, growing as a founder, as an aspiring chief of executives, a chief executive officer, as an advisor to founders and CEOs in about a dozen industries now that we work in as a firm nationally. I am growing with you in this process. And today I'm a bit freaked out. In general, I'm freaked out. I'm freaked out right now by this challenge I've given myself to interview 40 people a month, to record one-on-one conversations like this at a higher rate than I've ever done. I'm freaked out. So in the spirit of being freaked out of what's possible, here's freaked out from 30 days of thought. Freaked out and bewildered by the truth that not everything is going to be okay. The false sense of security can be a silent killer. We can kid ourselves too often by thinking everything will just turn out okay. Usually, this mantra is not the case. Often, we need to go through a near death experience to shatter our mental paradigm and rattle the cage of mediocrity we have been stuck in. Usually, without realizing it, our self defeating habits weigh heavily on ourselves like a 500-pound gorilla sitting on our chest, preventing a normal breathing. So, wake up, wake up. When forced under pressure, most are not ready and willing to glimmer with hope of what could be instead of understanding glimmer in its entirety, with not hope, but confidence. Now, when forced under pressure, most are not ready and willing to glimmer with hope of what could be instead of understanding glimmer in its entirety, with not hope, but confidence. We put forth the effort of what should be, and to be perfect in moments of pressure, we in turn find our true selves. To believe in oneself, to exude confidence and ooze with passion is our real mirror of belief. We measure the mass of our belief in ourselves by the dream we see and the vision we turn it into. Are you one to dig deep? Will you take a deep breath and follow through? Or will you just freak out? Ah, I've used words like shatter, right? Often we need to go through a near death experience to shatter our mental paradigm. Whether I realized it or not at the time, I wonder if I was projecting from the near death experience I was in on September 22nd, 2017. Now, 30 Days of Thought was written after I was permanently paralyzed in an ATV accident where the ATV flipped and my right arm was stuck right under that 1,000+ pound vehicle. My entire right arm was shattered. It's all metal in my right arm. The prognosis was that I would never use it again. You go on YouTube and type in Jay Doran, Jaydoran, the accident. you'll see me talking about it. If you type in my name, Jaydoran, broken arm, you'll see a reel, you'll see a short video right after that, trying to wrap my head around what just happened, headed to the hospital. I think that everything that I had ever done to work on myself to improve, taking risks, reading books, listening to books, seeking mentorship, and so on, prepared me for that day. Because although I was freaked out, I moved forward. The crazy freaking out happened about 2 weeks after that, when I really thought I was screwed, that all of this was in vain, that Culture Matters was going to die, that I was done for. Something in me, and it wasn't alone, rose to the occasion. I mean, a big part of it was I put out that video, the accident, and got such support online, having thought that no one cared, no one listened, no one was watching all the videos that at the time I had put out. That got me through that time. I said, I'm not quitting on Culture Matters. I'm gonna speak. I'm going to put out more videos than I ever imagined. And the rest is history. The company was saved. Miraculously, my arm came back to life and I have full use of my right arm, which was against what the doctor said. I was freaking out, but something in me moved through it. And I wasn't alone. I had you, had listeners, I had support. I felt alone, but something in me kept moving forward. When forced under pressure, most are not ready and willing to glimmer with hope of what could be, instead of understanding glimmer in its entirety with not hope, but confidence. Confidence for me has always come from competence, which has come from preparation, sacrificed, putting hours in. I'm preparing for an interview coming up months from now. I'm preparing for that interview now in October. I'm sorry. Yeah, October. I'm preparing for an interview months from now, because I want it to be the best possible interview. When I prepare for the Culture Matters podcast, I do culture maps on every guest, even if they've been on before. That's where I reverse engineer aspects of their career, their autobiography, their subject matter expertise, and actually draw it out and map it out. I follow my curiosities, the whole process that I've curated, and I can provide that to our client partners as a consequence of that preparation that I've used to bring as much value as a host to the show. So the purpose of the podcast, to uncover the genius of our guests. That preparation gives me confidence because I can competently ask the best questions that I'm capable of asking and bring something new to the experience of the guest that they may otherwise have not articulated on another show where the host was less prepared, leaned in to lesser of a degree. Yes, I'm anxious. Yes, I'm afraid. Yes, I'm uncertain. Yes, I don't know what the future brings, and anxiety is a consequence of that. But when I prepare and I sacrifice and I put in the work, it becomes excitement, and then it's fun and it's meaningful. So here are some of my thoughts. Pressure gives me purpose. I found my best work has been done under pressure. All I know is pressure. Pressure is a precondition for meaning. Will I crack under pressure? Yes, but how? For the better or the worse? We're all going to crack under pressure. Question is, for the better or for the worse? I want to talk about accountability. I think accountability is created with forces outside of our ability to act. We are reacting, interacting, responding to forces outside of our ability to act. We didn't necessarily start that domino effect, but we're going to continue moving through it. Leaders We need leaders. We need people to rise up to the occasion when no one else is, to raise their hand when no one else is, to help a person who's down when no one else is, to do that extra podcast when no one else is, or we don't want to. It's the domino effect outside of our forces is accountability. And be weary that, oh, you're not freaked out, you're not scared, you're not anxious. Are you in a state of entitlement and irresponsibility because there are plenty of people picking up the load? I am my part of my responsibility as founder and a parent chief is to create more responsibility for myself. I'm rewriting my job description constantly as the company grows. And part of what's helping me do that is to read, to write, to listen, to speak, and to help others do that. And so this is part of it, to share thoughts. I prepare so I can do a better job. I procrastinate less. And if you look at the output of the show, it's increasing. And I'm growing as a result of that challenge. And it's creating more and more value for those that work with us that we get to serve. And you're watching it in real time. So freaked out. That's the 30 days of thought today. Invest in your 30 days of thought. Read an excerpt, write your thoughts down, film your video, put it out there. Freaked out and bewildered by the truth that not everything is going to be okay. And that's okay. That's not going to be okay because you and me, we have the opportunity to grow in discomfort. As a good friend Paul Aceta would say, get comfortable being uncomfortable. I will see you the next time on the Culture Matters podcast. Please leave us a review on the Culture Matters podcast.